The gender landscape is changing. What it means to be a man or a woman or a non-binary person means something completely different in today's society than it ever has before. And what it means to be an alpha male is changing too. In this era, we have redefined femininity, relationships, even the construct of gender itself. But have you redefined what it means for yourself to be an alpha male? At its core, being an alpha means being a confident, successful, high-performing man, and I do know a thing or two about what it takes to make that happen. In fact, if you are a man learning how to live in the world today and juggle dating, sex, and relationships, I have a whole host of classes and courses that I made just for you. More on that in a moment. For now, here are the 4 things that make a modern alpha male, as well as some things that definitely do not. Number 1, know who the you are. The modern alpha male knows who he is and he accepts himself for it. He is not trying to press himself into the mold of his World War II fighter pilot grandfather version of alpha man. He is his own version. I mean, if anything, that's what we're learning about gender and sexuality anyways, is that each of us have our own version of it. The modern day alpha man understands what his shortcomings are. He works towards becoming the best person that he can be, but he does so out of self-care and respect, not wanting to be someone he isn't. One of the things I love most about living in today's society is that we press people all the time to do better and be better. People get called out all the time for being problematic, for having behavior that we are no longer accepting. I think this is awesome. I like the pressure on all of us to be better people. Yeah. All right, but what about you? What if you're a timid, soft-spoken dude? Well, it's not about changing your demeanor to be some macho beefcake. Knowing who you are and sticking to it is macho, all right? And it is also incredibly sexy. But how do you get to know yourself? Well, it all starts with showing up for numero uno, aka you, by actively asking yourself what you want from life. It comes from taking a good, long look in the mirror and assessing what is working and what is not. Then actively making decisions in your life that are guiding you towards being your best, most empowered version of yourself. I think what it comes down to is that the alpha man is not lazy. He doesn't wake up every morning and go, "This is who I am, take it or leave it," because he recognizes that that kind of fixed mindset is not actually contributing to the growth of himself or anyone around him, and that shit is very unattractive. You also can figure out how to become better by listening to the people who you know and surrounding yourself with people who inspire you instead of people who hold you back. It is often said that you are the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with. Take a look at your 5 people and ask yourself, are these people inspiring you to do your best? Are they making the kind of money that you want to make, living the kind of relationships that you want to have? Or are these people who are, quite frankly, bringing down your average and moving backwards or staying perfectly still and not growing at all? All right, number 2, you see yourself as a winner. Now, I already can tell that some of y'all are gonna get into the comments and you're gonna tell me every single reason why you cannot see yourself as a winner. And I'm here to tell you that reality as you see it is not the most important variable to whether or not you see yourself as a winner. I don't care what you see around you. Do you see yourself as a winner? Are you willing to invest the thought work, the heart work, the emotional work to seeing yourself as more than you are today? Because the modern alpha male sees every outcome as a win or learn. He's not stacking up losses, he's stacking up lessons. Sometimes in life we have cut and dry wins. You get a promotion, you reach a goal, maybe it's a fitness goal, you finally get that 6-minute mile, but no one succeeds at everything all of the time. Take it from someone who tries to succeed at everything all the time. It's not possible. And every loss comes with an opportunity to learn, win or learn. That is what the modern alpha male knows and lives by. Problematic human being, but interesting author, Jordan Peterson equates people to lobsters. Okay, so hang on. I know people got a lot of opinions on this, but I think he makes a really excellent point. Lobsters live in a hierarchy. They have a hierarchical order and they know which one is alpha and which one is not. And the way that they figure that out is a good old-fashioned fist fight, or in this case, claw fight. When lobsters fight, the winning lobster gets a surge of chemicals telling him he is higher up on the totem pole than his opponent who lost. And guess what? The losing lobster, on the other hand, gets a chemical rush that tells him that he is now below the winner. His brain starts taking him down a notch, bringing him down peg by peg, loss by loss. Now, the good news is we are not lobsters. Lobsters are crustaceans. They're like one of the oldest living forms of life on this earth, and that is not us. But there is something that we can really take away from this analogy. And that is, if you are constantly perceiving yourself as a loser, constantly stomaching losses, then your brain is going to start kicking you down and you are going to start losing yourself inside of the hierarchy, feeling that you are lower and lower. The good thing about this is that since you're not a lobster, you actually have the ability to shift your mindset and begin choosing things that you know that you can win at. It is that simple. Do things to give yourself wins. It is that simple. The problem is that too many people, when you feel like a loser, you stop even taking chances and giving yourself things that you can win at. You just throw your hands up and say, like, this is it for me. This is who I am. Nobody's ever gonna love me. I'm a loser. I'm never gonna get married or late again or whatever. Think about all of the things that you can turn into a win in every single day. Can you get up and make your bed? Win. Can you get to work on time and really do a stellar job even if you don't love your career? Win. Can you hit the gym and count it as a win no matter how many reps you did or what weights you lifted? Win. Can you do the things that you know you're good at? Practice your guitar, fix your car, clean up your house, volunteer at the neighborhood homeless shelter. Do things that make you feel like you're winning, and you will train your brain just like that lobster trains his by winning again and again and again. This is the gift of being a human being and not a tasty crustacean that goes great with butter. I mean, you may go great with butter. I don't know. I don't know what you do when the door's closed and the lights are off. If it involves butter, I'm game. Food play is awesome. Different video though. The moral of this story is, as long as you're learning, you're winning. As long as you're taking every opportunity, and I mean every opportunity, not just the ones that show up with your girlfriend, with your friends at work, or with your money or whatever. I'm talking about every single opportunity all day long, making those into wins for yourself and then patting yourself on the back because you won, and that actually helps to integrate it. Quit going around telling me that you get to stay a victim because you're a victim. As long as you want to stay a victim and defend yourself in the comments saying that you're a victim, you're a victim. Great. That's what you have to look forward to. I'm here to deliver the hard truth because I want better for you. All right, number 3, my alpha males, you know what you want and you go after it. Probably the sexiest quality in masculinity of all time is the goal and the getting. Now, what's important to know about this is that alpha males do not live in fear. This wasn't the case when your granddaddy was up in the sky fighting for his country, and it is not the case today. This one ties into numbers 1 and 2 because it is about knowing who you are, knowing what you want, and knowing that you are always winning as long as you are always going after it. It also means you're not afraid of the potential loss that comes with trying. Risk is the only way that you ever move things forward. You have to get out of your comfort zone. Even just winning or acknowledging that you're winning might be outside of your comfort zone. But if you're gonna ever get the life that you want, including the girl that you want, including the paycheck that you want, then you are gonna have to take some risks and you are gonna have to implement your will in order to get your way. The key to going after and getting what you want is believing that you deserve it. And guess what? That is not something that I can give to you or any YouTube video will ever give to you. It's something that you have to give to yourself. Believing that you are worthy of the dreams that you have, and then going out and putting in the work to make it happen every single day. The alpha male sees reaching his goals as an investment in himself, and he knows that he's worth investing in. Take it from someone who has taken out more than their fair share of college loans to get through their master's degree and to get into a PhD program that they didn't actually finish. That's me. And I have invested since then probably over $100,000 in personal development, maybe more than I invested in college. That's for dang sure. I've invested so much money in myself. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying that because I know I'm the safest investment that I can make. Because you know what I can't control? The stock market, my job, my boss, or any of the other things, the car that I could buy, the house that I could rent. I can't control those things. But when I put money and time and attention into myself, I know that I can control the outcome because I can work harder. I can work smarter. I can sacrifice more than anything outside of my control. And alpha men get that too. They are willing to invest in themselves, and they don't let fear get in the way. They don't let the fear that it's not going to work, that you're not going to mess it up, that you aren't good enough, that you're not going to get the partner that you want because you're going to f it up because she's going to realize that you're useless. You do not let the fears get in the way of living the life that you are worthy of. You invest in yourself, and you do not let those nagging fears stop you before you even get started. Number 4, you have clear boundaries and you speak up when they're crossed. I hear from men all the time that of all of the amazing free content that I have created for y'all, that learning about boundaries has changed your life more than anything else. And if you don't believe me, stay tuned. Because one thing has been consistent about alpha males from the dawn of time all the way up to today: they are not pushovers. They have spines, sometimes rock hard spines, sometimes spines of steel. That doesn't mean that they don't compromise. It means that when it comes to the important things, the things that are in conflict with your core values, your self-worth, you know how to draw the line. You don't let anybody, no matter how hot she is, no matter what the opportunity is, no matter how much you want to be his friend or hang out with his friends or have his fame or his girls or whatever, you do not let anyone step over your boundaries, including yourself, and you tune into your internal compass and you use that to make decisions. Sometimes this actually means leaning into your feminine side and being in touch with your emotions. And by the way, anger counts as an emotion. So when you start feeling these emotions, that means that you've got to stand up for yourself. Maybe saying no to someone, maybe saying, hold off, I gotta go. Maybe saying, this is no longer working for me. We gotta reset or end this relationship. Drawing a boundary means admitting that you've taken on too much, or you've gone too far, or you need help, or you need something to stop in your life for you to be your happiest, best version of yourself. And it means knowing where you stand when you've been crossed or hurt or taken advantage of, and simply putting a stop to it. As a modern alpha male, you understand that once in a while you have got to be a little vulnerable, both to yourself and to others. And you're not afraid to show that side because you don't see it as weakness. You recognize that it is strength. It is part of the strength of being a full human being and not a shell of one that can't actually acknowledge the vulnerability that is universal to all of us. There's been a lot of pressure on men to be stoic, steely-eyed, to have a stiff upper lip and do not show anyone weakness such as emotion. But there is so much more to being successful. There's so much more to being confident. There's so much more to being the man who is alpha than being stoic. And this is one of the greatest gifts. So if you are worried about the feminization of society, or if you think that women are stepping too far out of the kitchen and taking too much control in the boardroom, listen, this is not just a win for women. This is a huge win for you, because it means that you now are allowed to be a full human being. You are allowed to be an alpha and cry. You are allowed to be an alpha and be vulnerable. You are allowed to be an alpha and have boundaries and say no to that which doesn't work for you. You get more freedom out of this deal too. And every step that women and gender warriors and non-binary folks take in the direction of claiming more and more space for all of our different identities to show up and be respected, the same happens for you. You are getting more and more freedom all of the time to show up as your full self. And your full self can absolutely be the modern, contemporary version of an alpha male, which personally I think is so much more attractive and appealing and frankly magnetic than your dad's and your grandfather's versions of an alpha male. Now, if you want my help at transforming from an average performer to a high performing man, I have a whole host of online courses and video programs where we can get deep together. There's only so much I can show you on a YouTube video. One of the ones I am most excited about is on having an epic relationship and learning how to actually communicate with the women in your life. Not because communication is for softies, but because communication is literally the only way that you get everything that you want in and outside of the bedroom. And I guarantee up-leveling your communication with women is going to up-level your communication with your boss, with your bros, with the guy that's flicking you off in traffic, etc., etc. And mostly it's going to make you a happier and more stable version of yourself. Check out all of the links in the description of this video. I would love to be by your side and coach you through having better erections, being better at communicating, having a better relationship. You've got it all. Check it out below. I'm Caitlin V. Make sure that you are subscribed so that you can get more free content from me here on YouTube every single week, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.